Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, filling in for Sam Chad. Today, we're going to be talking local government with Vinson Guthreau, the Executive Director of the Nevada Association of Counties. That's next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
Hit the road in style during the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 every week and a top prize of a 2026 Chevy Traverse or $40,000 in cash. It's the $150,000 Roads to Riches giveaways at Tamarack Casino.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We are here with a good friend of mine, the Executive Director of the Nevada Association of Counties, Vinson Guthreau. Vince, great to have you on today.
Hey, thanks. Thanks so much for the invitation. Happy to be on
Well,
today.
And so, I think for me, when you think about the government that has the biggest impact, everybody likes to, we think about President Trump, we think about Congress, what's going on, right? Government shutdown. You really don't feel, bad government at a federal level as much as you do when you have, either good government or bad government at that local level. And counties are one of the closest forms of government we have to the people. So you just kind of talk about what is it that the counties do and, what your organization does.
Yeah, so that's a twofold question. So first off, thanks so much for the invitation today. I really appreciate being on, and I'm happy to talk about what our association does and how we support counties and sort of the work that they do every day, and talk about the things that counties do. So a little bit about our association first. So we're the statewide association that provide resources to counties. We also we educate county commissioners. So we're a 23-member board. We represent every county in the state. Every county, whether it's the 800, whether it's Esmeralda County, which is a population of 800, or Clark County, which is pushing, I think, 3.5 million at this point, or 3 million residents. they all share common issues. So as far as services that counties provide, they deliver, they do the administration of justice, right? So they do, public and indigent defense, or they also provide roads. They administer elections. In Nevada, they have the social safety net mandates. So those are your public health mandates and your Medicaid. They're the payer of last resort and on a lot of services to our indigent population. In northern Nevada, they provide homeless services. They also do that in southern Nevada. And in Washoe and Clark counties, which are our urban counties, they provide child welfare services. Of course, that service for our 15 other counties is provided by the state, but then funded by counties. So they hit the gambit, right? From your child welfare services to the streets that you drive on every day. They also provide wastewater and infrastructure and all sorts of things that I think impact residents' lives every day. You touched on it, right? The government that's closest to the people. And I think, I always say that our counties impact, the county services impact residents in ways that they don't even see every day, right? So I think everyone, probably knows who their mayor is, but not everyone really knows who the chair of their county commissioner is, county commission is, right? So, but they really do provide those regional services that matter for our folks.
So how does that power balance? Because, and maybe we're getting a little too political sciencey here,
Sure.
But okay, there's Dillon's Law, which means that, hey, the state is supreme. The state is the one that sets the policy, and then you have home rule, which means counties can tax, and they have a lot more power when you have home rule. Nevada's a Dillon's Law state, so how does that, how do the counties kind of balance that relationship with the state?
So in Nevada, we have what I call sort of a hybrid approach to the Dillon's rule. So this rule was put into place, hundreds of years ago, where it basically said counties are a creature of the state legislature, and they can't do anything. They cannot perform any service, pass any law, pass any rule or regulation that the state doesn't empower them to do. The legislature, frankly, in their wisdom, passed what they called administrative home rule here in this state. So basically, what that said for local government is that it said, for matters of local concern, you're empowered to pass regulations, and you're empowered to pass ordinances. That's how counties govern. They pass ordinances, which is a whole public process. The public is invited to attend. We have public hearings at the local level, and they pass ordinances that then govern how we conduct business in that county. Now, in Nevada, counties are specifically barred from passing anything or enacting any fee or tax on its citizens that is not allowed by the legislature or authorized by the legislature. That can be done in a couple of ways. The legislature could pass the tax themselves or the fee themselves, or they can empower the local jurisdiction to pass that tax. I think probably one of the latest examples actually was this session, which is a continuation of a revenue source that funded, I know a lot of people like to call it more cops, but frankly it was same cops down in Clark County. In Washoe County, WC1, which funds some school construction and rehabilitation. The legislature passed a law that empowered the county commission to pass sales tax to fund that effort.
All right, we are here with Vinson Guthreau, who is the executive director of the Nevada Association of Counties, and we're going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
No tricks, just treats at the Carson Valley Inn during the $100,000 Monster Pirate Treasure giveaways. Thousands in cash and free play giveaways every week. A monstrous $25,000 in guaranteed grand prize giveaways. Don't ghost these giveaways. Halloween awaits at the Carson Valley Inn.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, and we're here with my friend Vinson Guthreau, who is the Executive Director of the Nevada Association of Counties. All right, I didn't screw it up that time.
You didn't.
So,
well done.
What is the biggest challenge the counties are facing in Nevada today? And, what are the differences? Because there's a pretty big difference between Clark County and an Elko County or an Esmeralda County. So, do they have the same challenges? I mean, are there, what are the biggest challenges and what are the difference between your members?
So I call the differences between my members job security, because it's primarily my job is to keep everyone, on the right track. I think collaboration is important. I tell my rural members, hey, we need to stay aligned with our urban folks, and I understand that their communities are different. The issues at the community level are different, but I think sort of those common collaborative issues, they're the same, right? Whether it's, I understand that in Esmeralda County there's 893 people, and I have a commissioner down in Clark County who says, I have that many residents in one apartment building, so I get the scope. And I encourage my rural county commissioners to learn from my urban members and vice versa, frankly. I don't think they're that far apart on a lot of issues, actually. And I think that's it's a pleasant surprise to them when they coordinate and they network with each other. I know that's sort of I don't know. It seems trite, I think, sometimes to say that we're, a primary goal of ours is to create collaboration between our members, but I think it's critical to get things done in Nevada. Nevada, in my opinion, is a face-to-face state, and we really,
as long as we can keep it.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I think the way that we solve problems in Nevada is face-to-face. Even our urban commissioners are face-to-face. Engagement. So I think it's helpful, and I think we play a critical role there at NACO. As far as primary issues, I think they vary. As far as the number one issue for folks, I think the session. We recently came off a legislative session. The state adjourned in early June with that, and frankly. I think local government and our issues sort of stayed kind of steady. I don't think we won a lot, but I don't think we lost a lot, frankly. Local government, I think, can get squeezed from both sides, whether it's federal mandates or state mandates, and we can kind of get squeezed on that end. I don't think that happened to us, at least on the state side this time, and our members feel pretty comfortable there. What I would say for our folks is that we are facing some challenging times on the fiscal side of things. I'll give a plug for Washoe County up here. I think they are navigating it as well as anyone. They have 2 incorporated cities who I think have larger challenges. They rely on a more volatile source of revenue, which is C-tax, which for your viewers is sales tax. I think they have some challenges there that they recognize. I think the city of Reno is trying to meet it head on.
How are counties funded?
So primarily it's through property tax or some form of property tax.
Which is why our assessor is a county official.
That's correct. A misnomer is actually in Clark County, it's sales tax is the primary source of revenue. But property tax is always number 1 or number 2 for all of our counties. And in our rural counties, there's a proceeds of not to get too political sciencey or too in the weeds on revenue. This isn't a course on local government revenues, but there is a form of property tax that is assessed on mining operations.
Net proceeds on minerals.
Correct.
So, and that kind of begs the question. Growing up in Elko, the mining industry was huge when I was a kid. Big boom. Elko County didn't have the mines in the county. The mines were in Lander, or they were in Eureka County. Elko got all the growth. Those counties got all the revenue. And there seemed to be a little bit of a battle. And we kind of hear some of that today, right? With Washoe County and with Story County. How do you navigate those kind of issues?
Yeah, so again, I think NACO plays a critical role there. So the first thing that I try to do as the executive director of NACO is keep those fights out of the legislative building. I don't think that we as counties are well served by having the legislature settle those arguments or those discussions. And to be frank, I don't envy the legislature to settle those arguments. That's not really their job. I think local governments can sort of handle their own disagreements. We saw it a little bit on sort of fire consolidation this go around. I think the right path was taken on that to do a study at the local level. I think. So that's the first goal, is to keep it out of the legislative building. I have a huge philosophy that we should go to the legislature only when absolutely necessary, and that we should solve those disputes at the local level. Because again, going back to your original question and your original statement, I think that's where things get solved the best. That's where public input is best received, and that's where we can have the best solutions, frankly.
All right, we are here with Vinson Guthreau, Executive Director of the Nevada Association of Counties, and we're going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm Attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, and very pleased to have my friend Vinson Guthreau here. We're continuing our discussion on counties. When I think about the 17, actually only really 16 counties, one, incorporated city, in Carson City, right?
Yeah.
Used to be Ormsby.
Consolidated municipality, but yeah.
So when you have, how do you view those members? Because, you've got rural, you've got urban, and maybe some kind of in between.
So I have had the honor of serving my board as the executive director now going on about 5 years. And I've started sort of changing my nomenclature about our state for some time. I think we need to recognize that there's some changes that have happened, both, demographically, population growth, and really recognizing what that means. And frankly, we have, I think for the longest time, as long as I've been a resident here, which is nearly 40 years, we've been saying we've got two urban centers, Washoe County, which, the cities of Reno and Sparks, and Clark County with the city of, Las Vegas. And then we have 15 other rural counties. That is frankly not true. Some of the economic development efforts that happened, especially up in the northern part of the state, created, in my mind, two urban counties. And probably a handful, probably 2 or 3 suburban counties. I look at the counties of probably Lyon and Churchill and even Douglas County and Carson City. They're starting to be on the cusp of facing some urban challenges, frankly.
So what's an urban challenge? Is that crime? Is that homelessness?
I think so. I think some housing piece. I think it's just, frankly, there's wear and tear from growth on your city, right? So your infrastructure it ages faster, right? You go from 50,000 in population to 100,000 in population. That's going to have some impacts.
Roads.
Yeah, right. Roads. I'm just making it simplistic for the things that I think your viewers will experience every day. But I look at Carson City, consolidated municipality. They serve as a county for most instances. They have independently elected offices in some areas. They built their first subsidized low-income housing property just recently. They did a public-private partnership. I think it was a super smart way to do it. And I think you see some of the challenges up here, at least in Washoe County, with their congregate shelter. But I think and the amazing investments that this community has made in the housing sector. But yeah, I don't think if you looked at Carson City even 8 to 10 years ago, you would have never thought that was something that they would need to think about on the horizon. So yeah, I think that's the makeup of our county right now.
So looking
our
at
state right now.
Looking at Clark, looking at Washoe County, one of the issues that we're always hearing about is there isn't enough land. The federal government kind of, encircles, these urban areas, and so it limits the growth. Mm-hmm. How important is it for us to maybe get some control of that land that's here?
So a couple things on federal land in Nevada. Number one, every county in the state has public lands. That's the first thing I think people need to understand. Our urban counties have public lands. All of our smaller jurisdictions have public lands. And our state is acutely impacted by federal land management decisions. And this is what I tell my members all the time. These are the discussions that we have at our board all the time. The further that those decisions get made away from Nevada, the more political they become and the less advantageous they become to our state and to the community level needs that we have at our state. I know that the counties have some lands bills that they're trying to move through. I know that our delegation is working through those. I don't want to step on any toes there.
I mean, Mark Amity's kind of carried the water on the lands bill.
I know, and I think
both Clark and Washington.
And I think our senators have also, tried to navigate the politics of what they need to navigate, right? And I think frankly, it's Nevada is in a unique situation on that. And I tried to tell, maybe drive that home with some of our members, make sure that our city partners are on board with that and understand that. And frankly, and the flip side of that is we do get mixed messages from our communities, and then our county commissioners need to balance that because we hear we need more housing, and then we hear we also want open space. So we need to balance those community needs. And we will continue to do so, building walkable communities, building communities with open space. That is a priority for both of our urban areas, but also so is housing. So I think navigating that at the local level is a challenge, but I think it's a challenge that our commissioners are ready to meet. We'll continue to support them in that.
Well, and I mean, the big challenge is if you do have disagreements here and you are getting those, mixed voices and those very messages, makes it a lot harder to get something done in Washington, D.C.
Right. I'd rather work out those disagreements in the Washoe County Commission chambers or the Clark County Government Center than I would trying to navigate a Zoom meeting at an office building at the Dwight D. Eisenhower office building in D.C. for sure.
So hey, just this is going to be my last question, but as quickly as you can, what makes a county government a good government?
I think, frankly, that is an awesome question. As quick as I can, I think it's one that's responsive to their. I think they have to. That's a very good question. I think they have to draw a fine line between being responsive to their community, but also leading their community. That's what I think makes a good county government.
All right, and that's where we're going to leave it. Hey, Vince, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks.
We're going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
We wouldn't steer you wrong with the gold standard of steaks at Joel's Chop House. Indulge in dry-aged steaks, seafood, Wagyu tomahawks, located on the second floor, and great views of the Strip.
The 13th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. Silver State Government Relations, we know Nevada, so you don't have to. And University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, offering the highest level of care in Nevada.
If you missed any of today's show or would like to watch our shows from the past, go to NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks for watching and listening.